Welcome to the Complete Story series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites for you to understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by the respected company. We've done it. We've gone into the Spiderverse event. But to understand all of the players in this massive multiverse event that is the Spiderverse, you need to understand where they're coming from. Also, keep in mind that these are single issues of the series that we may never see again. They're intended to introduce you to the cast that is in the Spiderverse. Now it's time to go into another universe in this event. Another world where Spider-Man doesn't exist. A futuristic world with robots and a completely different type of technology. A world that some would say is something out of an anime, or perhaps a manga. The world of Spider. Things begin with an ending. The protector of the city has died in one of his many epic fights. We don't know how, and we don't know who did it. And none of that really matters, because what we do know is that the power source to the suit has survived. They say that he loved the city. They say that he was a hero. They say that he had a daughter. And that daughter is the only one who can bond with the Spider. Two scientists introduce themselves to Penny Parker as Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and they express how sorry they are for the loss of her father. They then begin to explain why Penny is here. You see, there is a radioactive spider that this organization uses to power a robotic suit. The spider is self-aware, and it will use its power as long as it has the right host, a compatible host. Well, since her father was the original spider, only she can do it. If she'll accept the spider, it'll accept her as the new host. She simply asks,
"Will it hurt?"
as the spider bites her, completing the bond. Five years pass and Penny learns to control her suit and her powers. The city is currently under siege from a mechanical floating eyeball stating that his art is panic. Penny gets word to get in there and stop him. His name is Mysterio, and he's using a hallucinogen to force people into a panic. As she swings into battle, she asks,
"Can we listen to music? It helps us focus."
She comes crashing through the ceiling, but before even her suit can react, Mysterio sprays his hallucinogen all over her. She begins to panic as she starts to go into a psychedelic trip. Colors, sounds, shapes all begin to flow around her, and the headquarters tells her to fight against it. But just as she's getting lost into everything,
"But the music! I'm safe inside the colors."
Headquarters yells at her to use her psychic link with the spider and let it take over. And she manages to focus just long enough to let that happen, allowing the spider to punch clean through Mysterio's dome, ending his hold over her. As he lays there broken and beaten from one punch, he simply says to her, "I'm just a fan. I could have been anything to you. Did you even get the mix disc that I sent to you?" Mysterio then gets placed into jail, and Penny goes back to school only to be called back to HQ by Daredevil. He explains that Mysterio was enhanced. He was a techno-obsessed guy until someone enhanced his intelligence, and he ratted out whoever did it. So they decide that they're going to go in and stop this enhancement ring. But first, they take a quick break to eat a sandwich, and Penny, Daredevil, and Spider all sit there and have a simple chat about her father. Penny just wants to know, was he a cool guy? And Daredevil responds with, he was calm and he never said a whole lot. But through that machine, you could feel his sadness, like something was missing. And I think he was pretty cool. The two of them jump in and they make short work of the enhancement ring. But that's not really the thing on Penny's mind. Once all the thugs are defeated and all the goons are tied up and the cronies are crying for their moms, Penny looks at Daredevil and simply asks,
"Do you think he would have liked me?"
And Daredevil smiles back at her and says, "Yes, I think he would have liked you very much." Penny and Daredevil bust up a few more gangs, and the whole thing just kind of wanes on Penny. It's tiring, and after one more gang bust up, she decides to hit the train up to go home instead of getting a ride. Maybe to help her clear her head just a little, because she's just got so much going on. But this train ride is actually only the beginning. You see, there's a walking, talking pig in a spider costume walking through the train, making all kinds of panic. And he walks up to Penny, and he simply says, "Now this may sound weird." Penny looks at him in shock and just yells,
"What's going on?"
Well, Spider-Ham explains that there's a villain called Morloon traveling between all of the dimensions and killing off all of the spider people.
Let's go then. We don't have time to waste. If he trusts you, I trust you.
And without any more questions, they head off to join the rest of the Spider-Verse team. Like I said, guys, it's a really short book. It's a single issue known as Edge of Spider-Verse number 5, if you want to read it yourself. And I personally do think it's a really good book that you should read. But if you want to talk about it with us, follow us on Twitter at Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here at the Comicstorian channel for our next Spider-Verse video. Has anybody heard of Mayday Parker?
Farewell from Earth TRN 451. Thanks for watching Comicstorian. Thanks for watching